Me out. Still here, despite the beautiful weather. Let's get started with some bucket filling. Don't be shy. What are you grateful for? Nick? Please.
I would be grateful for, I suppose I'm grateful for the leadership team that brought JVG over last week and put on a really good series. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. We're going to talk about that a little bit later so y'all can get a little idea of maybe why you should catch it next time. We are going to be bringing that class back at least once a year just because of the impact. So thank you, Nick. Anybody else? Well, I've got a little piece of gratitude. I'm grateful for Miss Risa Reagan. It is your birthday. Happy birthday. Mike.
We've got the best broker in the business.
Yes,
I shouldn't advertise this, but he'll answer the phone almost any time you call. He really helped me out the other day.
He's a stellar broker, that's the truth. And for those of you that don't know, Mike is here recovering after some surgery, and he and his wife Gwen have been just killing it with business. So good for you guys. Hari and Rami. Yay! Anybody else? Bucket filling, gratitude? John Bass.
Thanks for the sound bath on Friday. That was special.
You're welcome.
That was cool.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get to it. New agents, visitors. We got Elise, we got Hari and Rami. And tell us who you are.
My name is Joseph, and I passed my licensing exam on the 27th of March. And my friend Lisa here is showing me the ropes.
Yay!
Awesome.
We're so glad to have you. Thank you for being here.
Shannon?
And Elise.
Hi, I'm Shannon, and I just got my license last week, so I'm a new agent. I'll be working with Rick and Marita. They're helping to show me the ropes, and I'm just really excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
She also lives in E5.
If anyone needs
Oh,
some
that's
south,
a good point. Yeah.
Shannon's your gal.
I'm Elise. I just signed on a few weeks ago. I'm part-time, but it's happy to be here.
Baller, property manager, realtor extraordinaire. We're happy to have you here. Who else?
These guys. Richie was trying to hide.
I know.
Hi, I'm Trevor Curry. I just started last week. Super stoked to be here and learn from you guys, so thank you.
Love that.
Richie, same thing, started last week with the Stern team, just learning, and yeah, excited to meet everyone.
Hari, you want to stand up and tell us who you guys are?
Introduce yourselves.
We're so glad to have the two of you back in the office. Thank you for being here. Anybody else that we missed? No? Okay. In case you are not aware, at Keller Williams, one of the things that makes us stand out is our system of values and beliefs. And we like to kind of revisit them right before we give away the cultural icon. So the cultural icon is our actual physical symbol that we hand out and pass around each week to honor an example of our culture in action. So last week it was Miss Annie. Annie, you want to come up and give it away?
Even though I never actually got it. So I want to give this to somebody who is in here every day working super hard and is contributing and is always really friendly and even signed up for Bold. And this morning I heard her speaking in Spanish and I was like, I don't even know that part. So this is for Barbara Sully.
Yay.
This quite a surprise. I didn't expect it. I've been trying, as you know, to put a lot of effort in here, so thank you very much, Annie. Thank you.
Awesome, well deserved. Good job, Barb. Okay. Broker Dave.
I have to do it too. You know, I'm really good at not planning, and so I usually draw from the questions and stuff from the last week of what's been going on and questions I've been getting, and then I get up here and kind of ramble through and try to make something of it. MLS exclusion forms, have you noticed a change? Not there. Not there. It is there, it's just in a different place. I want to go back on the MLS exclusion form. First of all, that form was created basically, if we go out and give a great listing presentation and they say, yeah, we're going to do it, but we can't do it until next month or something like that. So you don't walk away and have somebody else slide in there and undercut you later. You can protect your agency relationship by signing them up on the listing agreement, but for the seller's own purposes, you've chosen not to put it across the MLS and share the information until such and such a date. Okay, that's what the form was intended to do. The seller, for their own purposes, is saying, hold off. They want to paint a room, they want to fix something, they want to do something for their own purposes. What we then found out was agents were using it to see if they could double-side it, thinking that double-siding it was the seller's own purposes. And so we had to change it back to where the seller had to authorize it being held, because you've got a contract on the buyer agent, or excuse me, the exclusive right to sell that says you're going to use best efforts to get an offer for the buyer, the seller, and all that. And holding it off the market is probably not in the seller's best interest. So we had to have the seller sign something that says we are authorizing it to be held off the market. Well, that form was a pain. Getting it signed and sent back in. So now they've put it online. It's an online form. It does no longer require the seller's signature, but it does have under the agent, before they hit submit, acknowledges that they have the seller's signed permission to do this. So it's on there, you can do it, but you have to have the seller's permission. Now, the question was, where do we have that seller's permission? It's got to be an addendum to the exclusive right to sell agreement. Don't make the rules, Lisa, just up here reporting. But it is for the seller's purposes, the seller is authorizing, so an addendum to exclusive right to sell, agent and seller agree that this shall not be put across the multiple listing service or marketed publicly until such and such. Signed. So now they are, because it was a pain for the MLS to keep track of these random forms that we would send in, so they made it easier on them, and it kind of is a pain for us, but that's what it is. It's now an online form you submit, but you are also acknowledging that you do have the seller's permission in writing. That one you got to do. Buyer-broker agreement. Yes.
Can we still use the old paper form?
If you can find one.
If you need one, we have them.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that, that's fine. They're not going to accept them at the MLS, but you can then go ahead because that is your seller's written authorization. So, yeah, that's fine. But they seem to be a high premium and everybody's looking for them.
I got you.
Even apparently Corey, who knows more about forms than most of us. Buyer-broker agreement. There's a thing in the buyer-broker agreement that talks about reasonable care and diligence. It's a bilateral contract that basically you are making promises, the buyer is making promises. They agree to, for example, notify anybody else that they come in contact with, that they're working with an agent. You agree to use reasonable care and diligence. What does that mean? You say Barb speaks Spanish? Come on up here. Maybe that's the problem here. No. What is reasonable care and diligence? Is reasonable care and diligence getting the preliminary report for title insurance from the title company and not looking at it? No. That's a problem, isn't it? And we've had a couple of problems with that in the last. We didn't notice that there was this lien on the property and you let it go through. Is that reasonable care and diligence? How about looking at the seller's disclosures? I don't want you advising them on the seller's disclosures, but if you look through the seller's disclosures, and you can see, for example, that sellers remodeled the back bedroom or something because of the water damage from a suspected leaky window. Is that something reasonable care and diligence might prompt you to say, hey, when you're having your inspection, you might want to have your inspector check this out, right? This week we had a sump pump go out. Flooded the basement, caused some damage. They take some people over there to check it out and find out the foundation is cracked and the water's coming straight up through the foundation, and that sump pump was in there, so they didn't have to correctly fix the foundation issue, and nobody noticed it on the seller's disclosures. Is that reasonable care and diligence? We worked out the issue, but I can guarantee you if it goes to court, that's a tough defense, okay? So again, seller's disclosures. What about a walkthrough inspection? What if you go to a walkthrough inspection and something's not right? What do? We're not gonna close. No, you don't have that right. The contract doesn't say you can not close. So what does the contract say? Ben? You could, if it says. That's a negotiable item. But you don't have the right to stop closing because it's not done. You can claim seller breach, you can claim all kinds of stuff, but it's a negotiating point. You don't automatically get to say, I'll see you in court. It's an opportunity to talk, okay? And that's kind of what's happening here this last week is we've gone over and suddenly the floor was wet. We saw some foundation issues. We saw a sump pump go out. We saw a window that wasn't repaired. We've seen, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. You know, this last weekend, and this is where the rambling part comes in. This last weekend, I had a very good friend pass away. And so I was doing the funeral thing, and after the funerals, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, we just realized, oh my God, we're old. I used to fight a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, I know. But I used to fight. I used to arm wrestle a lot too. And my college roommate who lost his wife, you know, we got this little timeout after the funeral and stuff. He goes, "You want to do it?" Oh man. Okay. My ego. Go ahead. We did it. I won. But for 3 days, my arm was doing this, guys. You know, you don't work that muscle, and all of a sudden, it's hurting, right? I kind of took that and I brought it back to real estate. How many of you guys were in business or got into the business 5-6 years ago? Okay, in the rush to entice sellers, did you write some really wacky offers? Okay, you know, $50,000 non-refundable earnest money, hard at closing, no inspection, close tomorrow. And all of those things that we're going, oh my gosh, who in their right mind would do that? The people that got in the business at that point in time didn't know any different, right? The ones that knew the market differently from before knew differently then. And for you guys, it was no big deal, but for those guys that had worked different muscles for years on how to get the seller the most and all that, it was a new thing that we had to learn, okay? Well, now we're in a market that we're also learning for people that got in then, how to make your buyers acceptable offer. We've never had to flex the talk the seller into a price reduction muscle, right? We've never had to use those things. So So, you know, we look at a lot of the new people coming into the market right now, and we're saying, oh, they're new, they're whatever. They're probably more prepared and better trained at our current market than some of us that were brought up in a different market, just like my arm wrestling muscle. I could have arm wrestled all night long 50 years ago. Man, it took me one arm wrestle this last weekend, and I'm still feeling it, okay? Guys, when we come in here and we talk to new agents and we celebrate their first, do you remember your first listing? Do you remember your first buyer? We need to celebrate those firsts because you will always remember them. And those are the muscles. We've got to have all those tools for whatever market comes at us in our quill and ready to use. But unless you've pulled them out occasionally and worked with them, you're going to be hurting for several days.
Sean, what have we got? Speaking of flexing muscles.
Oh, man. I worked out once in like 2 weeks, so I'm feeling it. So, and following Dave is always tough. So, we got a couple things coming up. So, tomorrow at the South Valley office, Kimber's teaching her customer experience class. For those of you that are in Bold, but I think it's not even just a Bold thing. You know, one thing he's really iterating is we're not in the real estate business. I mean, that's what we do, but at the same time, we're in a relationship business. So if you're trying to take that with your clients and your sphere of influence to a higher level, go check out Kimber's class tomorrow. So noon to 4. So, and then Thursday, we're doing our weekly Thrive Time from 3 to 5 p.m. because statistically speaking, the best time to call people. And Brant, if I remember correctly, you were teaching home, first-time home buyer stuff.
First-time home buyers and grants, guys, the federal government earmarks this money, and it usually comes in June. So we want to get our clients ready to go to submit our grant offers. So when it comes June, we can start getting that money because it goes fast. So we want to get that.
Okay, and that'll be right after team meeting next week. Oh, actually, no team meeting next week since we're going to the thing at the board on Monday. But it'll be here nonetheless on Tuesday at noon. And Justin just got his info to me, so make sure I don't mess this up. Pretend I'm using Justin's voice. So, how to get started investing today? If you haven't invested in the last 2 years, you may need an attitude adjustment. So, that's what we'll be covering next week at Wealth Building. So, next Thursday, noon to 1:15-ish. So, okay. Guys, 2 more opportunities for Value Square, or is it 2 more, right?
One more.
One more.
Oh, excuse me, just 1 more. Okay, so next week, April 25th, 11 to 3. If nothing else, come get 4 hours of core CE. On more than that, come learn what you can really do to show your value to your clients. Because, guys, that's the conversation we're going to be having for the next several months, if not several years. So,
Forever.
well, essentially forever. But I think, until we kind of get used to this new reality, how do you convey your value at the highest level possible? So, okay, and then Broker Dave, on April 30th, we will be doing, in lieu of team meeting, he is teaching Code of Ethics. So I know we have a lot of people that are wrapping up, their cycles and they need to get CE. So come partake and get some great CE with Broker Dave. And
Our
also
new
said you were going to
agents,
cover
too.
something differently, if I remember correctly, too. You're going to, or a new style, new format.
Yeah, come to this, you guys, because it's a good class because it's led by you, what's going on in the market next week. Okay? It's going to be all wrapped around 17 articles with Code of Ethics, but what's going on in the market and how people are actually working around the Code of Ethics. So.
And if you're a new agent, this is one of your required classes, so we hope to see your shiny faces there.
And there we go. That's what we got, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Of course, everything can be found on the link tree.
Yep.
Nate, that's you. What else we have?
So this is just going to be our announcements, so not really classes. So we've got ALC on the 18th from noon to 1:30. That's an opportunity for you to see how the leadership group is running and making decisions for the office here. We've got April 19th, Friday from 4 to 6. So fun time to just come hang out. Yes.
The Sister Wives are playing also April 19th, like 7 to 9 or so. So
Perfect.
like rally, going down over to Ice House, I think it's
Yep.
If you guys don't know, that's a band that's made up of a lot of like Stern Team and older agents and stuff, so not older, I mean like.
More experienced. Gen 1. I feel that in a weird way.
No, that's a great point, and this week is also Josh Stern's birthday, so yeah, I think it'd be great to get as many people at Wind Down as we can, and then head over to Ice House and celebrate him and them and their music. Okay, so as Sean mentioned, there is no team meeting here next week on Tuesday. It is instead going to be on Monday at the board. It is from 11 to 1. And we're going to have our own Justin Puchar there, and then Will Bustos and Josh Johnson going over building wealth in any market. And I feel that they're also going to focus on building wealth in this market as well. Because if you've worked with any investor clients, it can be hard for things to cash flow. So I think they're going to go over a lot of that right on Monday as well. Did everyone get the scan on that one? Okay, and then Johnny's market update for Q1, that'll be on April 24th, 10 to 11:30. You can watch it on your own, and we're gonna do a watch party here with ahas and takeaways at the end. So really nitty-gritty details on the economy and the state of housing and some of the forecasts for the next quarters to come. Headshots. If you need new headshots, Carrie will be here with Purple Moss on the 7th at noon. So these will be 15-minute sessions and $165. They're normally $190 per session. And then we have new neighbors. So Edward Jones is doing their grand opening on the 25th on the 4th floor. So potentially some ways to make some connections with clients of or account holders or employees of Edward Jones. Okay, and then big round of applause for Best of Salt Lake nominees. Okay, so we've got to rally around our people and vote by the 24th. So I did try this. If you scan it or click in it multiple times in a new browser, it will let you vote for everyone. I'll leave it up there for scans.
How incredible is that, though? Three of our teams out of, what is it, 16,000 realtors out there, 3 of our teams have been nominated as Best of Salt Lake. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So if you run into any of these guys, the Stern team as a whole, the Masons, or Andrea and Spencer Williams, their little group, please congratulate them. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah. Okay, Marita.
Yes, Bala's Barbecue, May 31st. Okay, Battle of the Barbecue, May 31st. How many of you are gonna grill? Who's our competitor?
Ooh.
Linda is on the board. Ooh, is Russ gonna grill? Okay. Okay, Russ is gonna grill. I mean,
I'll grill.
last year we had a technical challenge with our voting system, so we were not able to determine which of the two was the better publicly voted grill. So this year it will showdown, throwdown. So y'all got to come, invite your clients. $250 for you as a solo agent to invite your entire SOI. Everybody, bring them all. The kids, the parents, the family. It's going to be a great time. Live music. The Theoretical Blonde is coming back to play for us. So they're our bluegrass hillbilly band that look like they're 12 years old. And the food will be good, and the games and the fun times, fun stuff for the kids. It's just great party, great time, good vibe. So come, invite your SOI. You sign up, and I will send you the marketing packet. Nate, I think, is going to, during his tech bar today, we'll be happy to show you how to customize that marketing so it's got your name and stuff on it, so you can send it out to your SOI.
Yep.
So come to Nate's tech bar after team meeting for that.
Yep, and these connections that you start making around this are gonna set you up for not being broke this summer. So do the work. Okay, Jake.
Our favorite title guy, Jake from Real Advantage.
All right.
For the new faces, I am Jake Wood. I'm with Real Advantage Title downstairs on the first floor. I'm sure I will be reaching out to you. So this quarter, we have a new focus on social media. And when it comes to social media, we understand everyone has different skill sets and abilities. All we want to do is try to provide valuable information, tips, tricks, tidbits, anything that can be implemented into your business and kind of help you out. So I got a question here, and if you think you know it, shout it out, and I'll get you one of these binders or a toaster I got. So for the first question, in 23, how many social media users do you think there were globally? Oh, look at you. Yeah. So 4.9 with an estimated 5.2. You want a notebook or a coaster? Cheers. Okay. So if you're not on social media or using it to some form or fashion, obviously you're missing out on a big opportunity, right? For the next question, how many social media what is the most popular social media platform agents use for business?
Instagram.
Facebook. Who was the first one that said Facebook? Sean? Toaster or notebook, buddy? Notebook? Okay. And part of that reason is the unique ability for like creating events, group meetups, those kinds of things. So I mainly am on Instagram, but you can link them and sync them where if you post on Instagram, it will also do it on Facebook as well. And last question, listings with video receive how many more inquiries than those without? 400, Mike.
Wow.
So this doesn't necessarily mean you got to be in front of the camera if you're shy or anything, but some form of reel or video is definitely going to get, more exposure. So no matter where you are in the game, if you just want to learn how to create a reel, or if you want to sit down with me and strategize how to use farming and social media together, I'd love to sit down with you and just kind of brainstorm, just help you out anywhere I can. So Mike, I'll give you this coaster.
Thanks, Jake. If you haven't sat down with Jake and let him show you all of the tools that Real Advantage has downstairs, do that. It's mind-boggling. Super cool.
Okay, birthdays are next. We need the birthday song to play when this slide comes up.
The Stern team has an excellent birthday song. I'm going to grab that from you. Nobody wants to hear us sing. The following agents have April birthdays. Please make a note, and as you see them, please wish them a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And our KW anniversaries for March, I think that should say April, right?
Yeah, because I'm in April.
Yeah. So these are actually the agents that have an anniversary in April. So Stacy Vincent, Jeff Woodbury, Grant Barker, Tu Din, Brad South, Heather Wood, Ken Montague, Liam has left. This needs an audit. Annie, congratulations, 8 years. That's impressive. Jeanette, Zach, Nate, Scott Murray, Camelia Gregory, and Jeff Heap. So congrats on another year here. And on to awards. So not her first ever, but her first here at KW. Please congratulate Kirsten Pierce on her first listing and first closing. And the following agents capped in March: Brooke Madsen, Mark Nicholas, Jeff Morris, Mason Conley, and Justin Puchar. Please, if you're here, come grab your capper cube. Jeff, you want to
Come get your award. You used to be up here every week. You can come get your cube. Congratulations.
So for those that don't know, capping means that you have paid your company dollar for the year, and for the rest of your calendar year, you will be getting 100% of your commission on any deals that you close. Following agents had home runs. A home run is a listing, a contract, and a closing all in 1 month. So congratulations to Dave Bachman, Jeanette Mason, Joe Black, Justin Puchar, Lisa Edgington, Mason Conley, Mike Egan, Russ Fawcett, Scott Murari, and Tamara Reaper. And $1 million month, that is all the things from Home Run and $1 million plus in volume, all in 1 month. So please congratulate Spencer Rathall, myself, Rick, Mike Egan, Sean Erickson, Russ Fawcett, Eric Fontana, Andrea Gunnell, Brooke Madsen, Scott Murari, Jeff Morris, Ken Montague, Sydney Rosenblatt, Tamara Reaper, Justin Puchar, Rich Varga, Yamuna Shabonis, and Dave Bachman. And the following agents had a luxury listing or closing last month. That would be Sean Erickson, Justin Puchar, Spencer Rathall, and Mike Walters. This is a listing or a closing that is over $1 million. And for individual contracts written, with Heather Wood and Tamara Reaper tied with 3 units apiece. Congratulations. And for closed contracts last month, myself, Tamara, and Yamuna, all of us with 3, a little bit of change. And for contracts written in teams, Scott Murari, 4 contracts written, Zach Mason, 4 contracts written, and Justin Puchar, 4 contracts written. For the teams on contracts closed, we have Scott, Justin, and Rick. Scott had 4, Justin had 4, and Rick, congrats on 3. For our groups, the Stern team holding it down with a total of 13, with 3 listings from Eric Fontana and 3 from Ken leading the pack for the Stern team. And then Dave Bachman with the Roost, also 3 listings taken. And for our large groups, the Stern team had a total of 15 contracts written. The leaders there, Eric with 4 and Allie with 3. For the Heap Madsen team, they had a total of 7 with Brooke writing 5. And for the Roost, we've got a tie with both Dave and Jeff with 4 contracts written. And for our groups and contracts closed, the Stern team closed a total of 20 with Eric leading the pack there with 7 closings and Andrea with 4. The Heap Madsen team, Brooke Madsen had 5 contracts closed. And for the Roost, we have a 3-way tie with 4 closings. One on the end there. They're a 3-way tie, 2 different groups. The Roost had Dave Bachman and Jeff Morris each with 4, and Mike Egan with the 1 group, 4 contracts closed last month. And this is our Crimson Club Award. So it's the countywide award for listings taken, contracts written, and contracts closed. Tamara holding it down with 6. And then me and Heather coming in with 3 apiece. And for our teams, Murari and Favero, 12 units. Peerless Way Real Estate, 10 units. And Justin Puchar's team, 9 units last month. And for our groups, the Stern team with 57 1/3 units, the Heap Madsen team with 17, and the Utah Roost with 14 1/3. And the countywide Crimson Club, we're taking the whole team category with Scott and Kelly with 12 units, Peerless Way with 10, and Justin Puchar's team with 9. And then in the group category, the Stern team with 57 1/3, holding it down for the #1 spot in the county. Congratulations to all of you. That's so exciting. That's a lot of business. We're really kind of getting into the spring and summer months, and it's exciting to see what you all are doing and what's going on. Now, Who came to NLP last week? It was Thursday and Friday. Can I get Annie and Jess and Nate to come sit up here and tell us a few things about the NLP course? So first off, thank you all for taking the time out of your business to come and learn a little bit more about your brains. Let's start off with, we've got 4 questions, so who would like to go first? So Jess, what was your biggest aha from the class?
So my biggest aha was learning how to break down limiting beliefs and decisions. I came to, we went over some models on how to do that, and I came to that my complex belief, which is basically saying that something equals something else in my head, and therefore forms a limiting belief. So mine, for example, was that my finances equals my worthiness in relationships. And I didn't even know like that I was having that thought. I didn't know it was blocking me. I didn't even know how to know that, how to get there and figure out what's been blocking me in my business in a major way. So that was really cool to learn how to break that down and name it, and then, you know, furthermore, move from it to achieve what I want personally and in my business. So that was my aha.
That's a pretty big aha.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So what are you going to implement in your business moving forward?
So there was something called meta model, which, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. My brain is scrambled because I'm 6 months pregnant, and so I'm going to utilize the meta model in my business, and that helps you hear patterns and problems and questions within conversations that you're having with your clients or really anybody. So when I hear those problems or patterns or questions, I can answer with a helpful either question or any helpful feedback that I heard that was kind of lost in the communication. And that helps me reply in a way that's confident, and that helps us both get to a decision to move forward with whatever the next step is.
Love that. Is there anything else that you think that it's important to share to the group about why NLP was so impactful for you?
There was so much in-depth, obviously models and side conversations and examples of how we interpret everything that's coming in all the time. It's a lot, and I think to be able to go to a class and help you organize what you hear and interpret and understand, organize it, and then be able to articulate it in a way to your clients that is, you know, confidently, to do it confidently, and use your time better with them. You know, I wish I could say that a little bit better, but yeah, I just think that like there was just so much, like I could barely scratch these examples that are just going to help me in my business and confidently articulate what I know and how I want to present myself in my business.
Love it. Thank you. Yeah. Annie. Yeah, right? And there's more. Annie, what was the biggest aha for you?
I think anybody who knows me knows that I've been like very resistant to all things Keller Williams and general real estate. And it's taken me a really long time to like, you know, when you first start, they go, don't reinvent the wheel. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna reinvent so many wheels. And that's what I've done. And so only now am I starting to, like 8 years in, drink the Kool-Aid. And one of the things I've had the most resistance to is like scripts and objection handling kind of stuff, because to me, it's always been like, well, I'm not trying to convince somebody to utilize my services. Like maybe it's just not a good fit. And like I have this way of doing things that I think is more authentic and natural and all these things. And he had me up here to do this kind of like, I forget exactly what he called it, but basically like a
scrambled your
linguistic brain scrambler to try to figure out what my problem was. And what I determined is like, I have some deep-seated resentment towards salespeople, and I don't really know where that came from. And it's something that I need to work on in my life for sure, but kind of recognizing like, yeah, why am I? Because I'm like, I just don't want to be a salesperson. And you're like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, what's your problem? And I'm like, oh, that's something I need to like maybe explore with my therapist or something. But ultimately, like what I came to is in my business, I always say to my clients, I run a business that is a no surprises business. Like my goal is to never have a single client ever go, wait, what? Like if I hear, wait, what? I'm like, oh my God, I've screwed up entirely. Like where did I go wrong? So I always do like the start to finish thing of explaining the process along the way and the monies that they're gonna need, and there's no surprises. And it occurred to me that that can start during the initial meeting with that person. So one of the things he said was an objection is just a question in disguise. So if you get done meeting with somebody, when you go through your listing presentation and they're like, oh, I still want to talk to another realtor, or I still want to do this, now in my brain I can go, there's something I haven't answered for them. They basically just went, wait, what? Like in that initial meeting. And I always focus on that once they're already working with me, but not in that thing. So these ideas of like, you isolate the objection, you ask a bunch of questions to figure out what it is that they're actually worried about, and then you acknowledge and validate that. Like all the things that you guys probably all know, and I've just been like, whatever about it. Those are things just to like, it's not like me trying to sell myself like in being this aggressive salesperson. This is me trying to like really understand this person and answer all the questions they have. So that was like a pretty big aha for me 8 years in.
I love that. And you already kind of told us what you're going to be implementing to move forward. What specific tools or models do you think you're going to continue to work on?
Yeah, so I think probably doing more script practice will be something that I'll want to do. And I actually was practicing, I went climbing with my friend this weekend, and was actually like practicing, because I was telling him about this and practicing isolating. So for instance, he doesn't want to have, he doesn't own a house, doesn't want to have a mortgage. He's got this thing against mortgages. And I was like, tell me more about that. And just kind of delved in. It turned out to be this like deep psychologically rooted thing where his family, his father was in this terrible accident and the family lost the house. And then I kind of went, okay, this feels kind of out of my wheelhouse. Like that sounds like therapy stuff more than what I can do. But it was good practice, I think, just to isolate that. So working on that. And then also recognizing like another kind of thing I got out of this was, what was the word he used? Not demotivation, but when you're feeling disempowered. Yeah, so recognizing what things in life are empowering and disempowering, and being like really specific about that, whether it's like your food or your workout routine or the people in your life or your attitude or whatever, and recognizing like, wow, I'm in a really disempowered state right now. And so I think just being generally more aware of where you're at, and then going, what's causing this and what do I need to do about it so that I can feel empowered in my business and in my life all the time, most of the time.
Love it. Thank you. Nate.
Yes.
From a leadership standpoint, because at the end of the day, we're all leaders, right? We're all leading our clients through the process of buying or selling a home. And from a strictly leadership perspective, what are you taking away from the NLP course?
That I can pretty much get my husband to do whatever I want him to now. I'm just kidding.
Come to this
Kind
class,
of. No, from a leadership standpoint, that was a joke, by the way. It is not manipulation or anything. I want to make that very clear. Leadership, I probably have more of an example, and it's with the isolating the objections that Annie kind of brought up. But in Linda's and I's roles, we oftentimes are coaching you guys, agents, in how to be more accountable or build wealth or just identify any of your goals or your big whys. And I won't mention names, and no, they're not here today, but I was coaching through an agent. Actually, I had left the class on Friday to go coach this agent via Zoom and then popped back in. And it was really incredible because there was some call hesitancy when we were talking about their contacts for the next week. And I didn't necessarily get an objection, a verbal one, but there was a facial objection when I said, okay, great, that means we need to make this many contacts this week. And they were like, okay, great. But their face did not say, okay, great. So we sat in that, it was like, we sat in that for a minute and I helped her isolate what the true objection was behind the calls. And with coach brain and leadership brain, I'm just thinking, you know, call hesitancy. They don't want to make their calls. They don't want to bug their people. They don't want to feel like a salesperson. And when we sat in that objection, what we were able to uncover is they don't want to be known in the public because of a personal safety issue that they have with a previous relationship. And so now there are some limiting beliefs and restrictions in them wanting to build a big business in Life by Design and living in the fear that was her previous life. And so now, instead of coaching through call hesitancy, we're able to go a little bit deeper than that, probably deeper than I'm going to be able to help coach to, but at least get them on the right direction.
Oh. So, and same, my experience in that class, this is the second time Nate and I have both taken it. It's learning how to ask better questions, right? Because the surface level objections that you're going to hear in your business are just that. They're surface level objections. And really, you're doing your clients a disservice by just taking that at face value and saying, oh yeah, no, I can fix that. And like, we'll just go this direction instead of that direction. When you're not really taking the time to slow down and find out why. What is the real objection? What is the real fear behind the pushback? And I think that is one of the biggest things that we can take away from the class is just being able to communicate better with the people that we care about around us. So, well, thank you all. Give them a round of applause, guys. I believe today we have a sponsor. Is John out there?
Fabulous.
Are you, John? Come tell us who you are. Ah. Well, why don't we just...
Oh, he's right here.
Oh.
Josh.
Okay, so we'll wait. Why don't we get into a couple of wants and needs first, and then as he comes back in, we'll give you guys the mic and you can tell us all about who you are.
Hello. Love this microphone. So I have a couple listings. One of them is a duplex at the 21st and 21st area in Salt Lake. It's a pretty unique property because it's also subdivided as twin homes, and the lot is large enough for an ADU. So a lot of great income potential. So I've got that one. Come visit me if you have questions. It's on the MLS already. Then I have a lot coming up that's like 10th South, 2nd West. It is zone multifamily. I can give you more information if you come see us at TAG. And I think that's it for now. Oh, and I've got another property that would be a really good exchange into commercial-wise. So. I'm sorry? How big is that lot? 0.25.
Her duplex is really cool and really well updated too.
1.065.
I have a listing in Springville. I announced it last week, and then I had an open house. We had an offer. We went under contract for probably a record short amount of time. I got the notice of cancellation from the buyer about 15 minutes later. It was really frustrating. You know, you send the text, we're under contract, and then a few minutes later, JK. Yeah, apparently the husband wasn't talking about the fact that he didn't even like that home. And the wife was just psyched about it, and we got the offer, and now it's back on the market. So it's a cute little single-family home on 0.33 acres in Springville. 4 beds, 2 baths, older home, but newer roof, newer HVAC, all new electrical. Say again, price $450K. Yeah. Are they still together? Oh,
Maybe
they're
she'll
not my
leave him and come
buyers,
back and
right?
buy it again.
I'm not with those folks. Yeah, I'm representing the sellers. Okay, but thank you.
Anybody else?
Spencer.
Yeah, so I've got a Greystone condo, which is just right over here, 27th East. We listed last week, still looking for a buyer. 2-bed, 1.5 bath, one of the bigger units. Main level living, if you've got anybody a little older. Listed at $425, completely remodeled, really cute. And then next week, listing a Bonneville Towers condo, just 777 South Temple. Unit 5E, also beautifully remodeled and updated. We're going to list that at 500. So
That
if you
whole
get any-
building is amazing.
That building is awesome.
Cool. Ben.
So I've got 3 different buyers on the commercial side I'm looking for some stuff for. So I've got a gal that runs a massage therapy business. We're looking to buy a building that's about 2,000 square feet, up to 1.2 million, east of Main Street from 45 South, going into the Salt Lake area. Then I've got a used car dealership anywhere in Salt Lake or Utah County. It's got to be acre size parcel or bigger with a small little building, that's fine. He's good to about 1.8 million. And then I've got a restaurateur that, again, from probably about Midvale going into the city, looking for their own building. They want to get out of leases and own their own real estate rather than paying $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So, and that would be right around 1.5 million, and they need about 2,500 square feet. So if you network, talk to people in your database that are small business owners, own small little pieces of commercial real estate, I would tell you talk to them about that as well in your daily conversations, because there is high need for that out there.
Perfect. Thanks, Ben. Kayla?
I have a buyer looking for a condo, no more than probably about 15 minutes from the U, but the closer the better. Price point is probably going to be around like 350, 325. So, I mean, size wise, 900 square foot, 2-bed, 1 bath, something like that would be great. Doesn't necessarily have to be a new build, but if it's renovated, that would be a plus. And if the HOA allows rentals, they would like to eventually use it as a rental, so that'll be something with it too.
Are they condo specific, or would they be open to single family?
I have a buyer looking for a project home in a good location, preferably the east side, somewhere in this vicinity, somewhat between 450 and 550. So if anybody has something coming up where their sellers don't want to really do any remodels or anything like that, let me know.
I might have something for you. Anybody else? Okay. Come on up and tell us all about, what is it, Goop Cycle?
Go Upcycle. We tried to get
Go Upcycle, got it, okay. Butchered that one, so sorry.
No problem at all. You're not the first. You won't be the last either. This is testing. Anyway, I'm John Holling with Go Upcycle. This is my partner, Josh Weaver. Basically, what we do is we take building materials from that would otherwise have gone to the landfill, and we find the right buyer for it. Habitat does a great job, and some other companies, and we love them as well. We're actually trying to get something going with them, but basically, the landfill is still right now 30% reusable building materials. And so there's a huge need to have less building material waste in general. We basically focus on commercial and high-end building materials because we know what people want, and that's really what it comes down to. Our goal is by 2030 to reduce those numbers by about 10%, which would be awesome. Can we get a raise of hands? Who has ever thrown something away that they think still has value? I know it's 30% of the landfill, so some of you guys are hiding. But yeah, so anyway, this is our contact information. We do same-day pickups and drop-offs. If not next day, if you call us later in the day.
We can arrange it for next day. And we also have our website. If you guys go to goupcycle.com, we're located in West Jordan. That's where our warehouse is. And everything can be found online there. And it's mostly like from Park City, Alpine, very high-end materials, mostly surplus. It's always about 50 to 75% off on everything. And how many of you guys do fix and flips? Just one? Cool, two? All right. Well, no worries, wherever you guys are. We have a lot of like bulk auctions as well for like pallets of fans and lights and stuff like that. And so if you guys wanted to, get a great deal of some high-end product and kind of, really amp the value of your guys' home for, as little money as possible, which I know is kind of the idea in fix and flips, you can FaceTime us, call us, and, we can give you guys the specs and, we can make sure we have what we have in inventory before you have to like show up to the store or anything like that. So we're available remote. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. Everything's online on our website, so you can see things that's uploaded daily. We get trailers in, almost every day. And basically, the reason that we do this and how we're different than Habitat for Humanity is we try to drop off our trailers or get cabinets and materials from the job site, whereas Habitat can only accept them, drop off, or donate. Sometimes they do pickups, but sometimes they're far out, and so they haven't been able to reduce landfill waste. Last, we'll end with this. How many of you guys would prefer to have less waste, and how many of you guys like the environment in general? I hope most of you raise your hand. Okay, cool, awesome. So, I mean, if all you guys have to do, basically, without lifting as much of a finger, you just refer them to us. Every single purchase, all of that material was saved from the landfill. So if you guys send anybody to us, that's just gonna allow us to acquire more material and prevent it from added to the 30% of the landfill being building material waste. So I appreciate you guys today, and hopefully we can get some referrals. We also offer payments for the referrals as well. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, great question. So you guys can come in and shop anytime from 10 to 7. We're open Saturdays too, 12 to 5. But the online platform is just, if you see a really great deal, things go in and out pretty quick. Honestly, a lot of it, like 20 to 30% of it probably is gone within 24 hours. And so, if you guys really, really like a product and you want to have it on a hold, you can place the payment and choose a time, like a convenient time for pickup or delivery.
Any other questions?
Yeah, anybody got questions or anything like that?
Do you charge?
Depends. Sometimes we'll do it for free if it's like really high quality stuff. Like we're picking up from like a $20 million home in Park City, we'll do that for free because it's going to be worth our time. And then when we sell it, it makes sense for doing that. But if it's something a lot smaller, we'll probably charge a little, or at least when we sell that material, we'll give you a little less money out of it because it's a commission based where you still benefit from that by, instead of donating like Habitat would, we pay you when you give us stuff. We focus on high quality and like high end, so it's worth more value, and then you get a chunk of it and we just store it and sell it for you.
So it doesn't have to be like that expensive of material. Like we have that number right there. It's also out there. We were the ones who brought the mints like last month, if any of you got any. And you can just shoot us a picture. Like we'll accept tile, we'll accept cabinets. We can accept pretty much anything. We get creative. And so it doesn't have to be like super high end, but I just don't want you to be disappointed if we turn you away. But we are really prompt with our response times, usually within 30 minutes. And we can let you know what we can do for you and find a solution quickly. No, not yet. That's not.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thanks, you guys. Oh, yeah.
I was talking with Josh last week. I introduced him to Alan because Alan does a fair amount of flipping, and Alan just quickly looked on your website and was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys have a ton of really cool stuff." So, if you have clients that need to do like just a quick little project to increase their ROI on their sale or something like that, give these guys a call. They can really help. All right. If nothing else, have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.